Hey guys, it's me, 80 Today, guys, I want to do a bit of a different video. This has been a topic that I wanted to do on my channel for a long time now, guys, and Real Betis. The reason why it's taken me so long is because, like I said, guys, I've been super busy, guys, with a lot of other content, the international break and everything like that, and I just haven't found the right time to do this. And now I figured it was a good time. And today we're gonna actually look at this article that's from the Spanish Football News website. We're putting the link in the description for you guys to check it out. We'll be reading this article and give you guys my perspective how Real Betis have been doing. So, like I said, guys, let's talk about Real Betis. Let's give you guys some insight first of all, okay? So, Real Betis this season have been absolutely superb. Right now, they find themselves to be third in the La Liga table. They're right now in the Europa League playoffs. They just won yesterday 3-2 away to Zenit St. Petersburg, and they're in a very good position to make it to the round of 16, as well as the fact they're also in the Copa del Rey semifinals, in which they won against Rayo Vallecano 2-1 on the road. So this could be a dream season for them. They could be in the Copa del Rey final. They could get Champions League football next season, and maybe I know it's a very huge stretch, but they could even win the Europa League. How crazy of a season that would be! A treble. Obviously it won't be like the treble that like the highest treble, but technically it would still be a treble, technically speaking. So I just think, oh, not treble, sorry, double, because they're not gonna win the league title. Sorry about that. But yeah, it would technically be a double. But technically speaking, like I said, it's been a great season for Real Betis. I think Pellegrini has done a great job with this team. You can see how he's incorporated these players. These players have been amazing because I look at this Real Betis team. Let's just give you guys some context here. I look at the players that they have on this Betis team, and you look at the players that they have, and I'm looking at these players. You have Nabil Fekir, Hector Bellerin, Diego Lainez, Wami. These kind of players, I can guarantee you, if they had went to the Premier League, probably wouldn't be starting for any of those top teams. None of these players would be starting for like a Manchester City. None of these players would start for a Liverpool. None of these players would start for United. None of these players would start for those kind of teams. But the fact that they're doing so well in their own league, and none of these players like world class superstars, is incredible. And it goes to show you guys how much Pellegrini's done with this team. He's done an incredible job indeed. We look at the stats. Let's go and look at the stats right now, how they've been doing this season, because they have been absolutely superb. Like I said, guys, they deserve a lot of credit, and I do think that we need to make a video about them. And so let's look at the stats. Statistics this season. So as you guys can see, their top goal scorer has been Wami with 14 goals, Borja Iglesias with 12, Nabil Fekir with 7, and you can see how everyone has contributed. There's been a lot of players contributing, and it's not just one player that's just doing all the goals and everyone else is just doing nothing. You can see how they've been doing this well this season. Like I said, they're in the knockaround playoffs. Like I said, they're in a very good position to make it to the round of 16. Finish second in the group, Europa League behind Leverkusen, which is pretty commendable. Got ahead of Celtic barely, just by a point. And like I said, in La Liga, they find themselves to be third in the league. 13 wins, 4 draws, 7 losses. It's incredible. 45 goals scored and 29 goals conceded, 16 plus goal difference. They even scored more goals than Barcelona, Atletico Madrid this season, which is quite ridiculous to say the least. And I'm looking at this team. Like I said, guys, this team has been a great team. So let's go look at what the article says here. 16 games into La Liga season, Real Betis sits in third place on the back of a magnificent away win at the Camp Nou against FC Barcelona. Nearly exactly 3 years ago, from their previous fairy tale win against Barca, things have never looked quite as bright for the men in green and white as they do now in recent times. Manuel Pellegrini continues to exceed all expectations. Under his guidance, there have been notable changes to things that had become typical Betis in the past. And despite arguably now have a squad as good as their direct rivals in the table, Betis have kept punching above their weight this season. Just look at the simpler statistics enough to suggest improvement in Betis. Although Betis finished 6th last season, there is a stark contrast to performance now compared to 12 months ago. Betis tallied 30 points, is 11 better than their haul this time last year. They're 7 goals better off and conceded 12 less, resulting in them sitting 3rd instead of 11th. What makes this immense upturn in form is even more impressive than the fact that Betis lost arguably their 2 most important defensive mainstays for summer. Asi Mandi headed to rivals Villarreal, where right back Emerson returned to Barcelona after the end of his loan spell before eventually joining Tottenham. Yeah, like I said, those 2 defensive accusations were definitely very, very huge losses. And keep in mind, guys, this article was made on December, so some of the stuff that is said in the article is no longer relevant, to say the least, as far as the games are concerned. But you guys, I think it could get the general gist here. The loss of Mandy Emerson coupled with Betis' unexceptional summer acquisitions meant that they were expected to fall off from their Europa League place. Their early seasons were to suggest as they began the campaign with 2 uninspiring draws to Mallorca and Cadiz before slumping to defeat at home to Real Madrid. Betis followed this up by barely scraping 3 points against Granada, having to rely on a late goal of individual majesty by star Man Sergio Canales. Betis then squandered a lead to Espanyol next, ending week 5 with just 6 points. Then same old inconsistency, the main theme across all the performances. Unprecedented henceforth, Pellegrini engineered spectacular surging results. Key to this have been success in reviving the form of fringe players, of whom winger Wami's example shines brightest. Wami had thus far received a mediocre. Had thus far had a rather mediocre career at Betis, with 2 years of inconsistent end product with no decisive contributions, to the extent that he even had a meager fee of 8 million seemed a waste for his services. But Wami has been flying 2020 and 2022. He's his third in the movement, and La Liga's top scorers list with 9, and has come up clutch on more than a few occasions already. The hat trick against Levante was a confirmation of Wami's incredible run of form, and the winner against Barca came as no surprise a week after. Wami has a sync with the Real Sociedad, hunting Porto William Jose. The two have contributed more than half of Los Valdebeco's goals. Portuguese midfield William Carvalho has also been another who's recaptured his form, a player of unquestionable grace and had a very high performance ceiling. William had never been able to quite live up to his lofty expectations in 3 years at Betis, and he was inches away from a transfer in August. The failure of any move going through has been a blessing disguised for Betis, as William had forged a great connection with Argentine Guido Rodriguez in holding midfield, allowing Pellegrini's 4-2-3-1 to flourish and offering more freedom to the creative geniuses of Fekir and especially Canales. The examples don't stop at just these two. Pellegrini received a misfire in Borja Iglesias last season as the free signings of Victor Ruiz and Claudio Bravo, 30 to 38 years respectively, have performed well beyond expectation and become vital first-team players. Not only has Pellegrini reinvigorated the older players, but a lot of young players have also grown in importance. Chief among them are the defender Edgar Gonzalez and winger Rodri Sanchez, both developed in the Betis' junior team. The former has come to promise following Mandi's departure and has been the best center back of the club this season. The latter has been proving a real live warrior, displaying supreme confidence, control, and not looking out of place, even alongside two of the division's best attacking midfielders. Finally, praise must be shown on Abel Fekir and Sergio Canales. The two are always scintillating to watch and so crucial Betis' success. And in spite of the rich vein of form, it wouldn't be exaggeration that Betis could well be higher. An odd 7 days amidst a great season where they lost to Atletico in the heated derby against Sevilla, either side receiving a hammering from Bayer Leverkusen in the Europa League. Although their inconsistency have not been ironed. The defense still has several lackluster moments, particularly through when the fullbacks in the war of an era at the back seems to loom at a large, irrespective of how well the team flourished at the other end. Pellegrini, in contrast to his predecessors, also managed to ensure essential to beat the teams that they're expected to beat. Betis, for all the brilliant football, occasional giant-killing performance have struggled for consistency pass. Under the Chilean, however, Betis have dispatched inferior teams with more conviction. Competition is rightful in the European spots, but teams will need to be on their toes there since staying this form. Pellegrini, finally referred to as an engineer, Ruiz successfully built the club after the disastrous 2019-2020 under Rubi. Now Pellegrini signs in the year, at his year and a half, the club have been fancy indeed. Betis' acquisition period have cost merely 3.5 million combined, but they have been shrewd, perfectly aligned with his vision. He has overseen the resurgence of all the players, trusted the club's youth, and brought renewed confidence among the fans. Lowest verdict blows have come from back a losing position, rescue points, and even win number of times under Pellegrini. This disgruntlement of fans is Veneto Valderine, consequently affecting the players' morale is rare these days. But he's now play a vibrant offensive ball, similar track to the Cruyffian style Quique Setien aimed to instill some seasons ago back, along with a sense of ruthlessness. And Betis can minimize their defensive regularities. There's every reason why they can push that the push for Champions League spot can be prolonged well into the season's climax. Yeah, that was a really good article, guys. A really good article. Really explains everything about the Betis, because obviously you guys know I'm a Barca fan. I don't really have the time to really keep up to date with other teams like that thoroughly, and it was nice to see how this article really summarized this, and let's look at Betis. Let me just give you guys my take on whether Betis can qualify for Champions League or not. I think Betis have what it takes. I think they have enough potential. I think they have enough. They have enough what it takes. But my issue with Betis is not necessarily their fault, but it's just that I just don't know if they have enough players to compete, because similar to what I said for Barcelona, do they have the squads to get the Europa League and the La Liga? Because like I said, I don't think they can do both. I've said this before, guys, with Barca. I don't think they could do both, and I certainly don't think Betis can do both. And you look at the games that are coming up, guys. They have Mallorca at home. They should win that game. Then they have the return fixture. That Sevilla game's going to be tough. Look at the games, especially in this period, right? That's a tough period. Atletico Madrid, Athletic Club, Celta Vigo. Those are some tough games. Those are some very tough games. And they're looking towards the end of the season. Real Madrid, Barcelona. Those two games, especially that Barcelona game, could be very decisive of what happens in the league. Like, that could make or break whether Real Betis gets Champions League football or not. You look at that Real Madrid game, even though Real Madrid will probably be secured as league champions by then, that game could still be very important for Real Betis in the sense that they need a draw to survive. So, like I said, guys, I still don't think they're going to get Champions League football, despite all they have been doing this season. They've been in sensational form. I just think that for me, there's going to be a drop off. I just think that for me, there is going to be a drop off at some point, and I just have a feeling it could be in April. I just have this feeling that they could get results against Atletico and Athletic Club, but then they could stumble away to like Celta Vigo, Osasuna, Cadiz, these kind of teams. And I just don't know if they have enough what it takes, And like I just said, the Europa League is still there, and I don't know how much they're going to really focus on that. And there's also Copa del Rey semifinal, which there's so many things to balance. Do they have enough what it takes? So, like I said, though, as a Barca fan, I would love for them to be in the Champions League. It'd be very, very amazing for them. And I think they deserve to be in Champions League football. And, it'd be a very sad ending. But this kind of reminds me of what Leicester City did last season. Remember how Leicester City, they were exceeding above expectations, and we all know what happened in the final match day. They ended up not getting Champions League football. So, I don't know, man. This one's a very tough one to call. Very tough one to call, indeed. And you look at the amount of points they are this season. They've played 24 games, and they have accumulated 43 points. And their top three, they could be taken over, or they could be usurped by Barcelona, Atletico Madrid, because Barcelona have a game in hand, guys. Barcelona, if they win their game in hand, 42 points. Barca are only like a point away from them, and So, like I said, it's going to be very interesting for how Betis is going to be because, like I said, they're 4 points clear of Atletico Madrid, but it's still Atletico Madrid, I know Atletico Madrid have been very bad for their season, for their standards, but I just think that for me, the fact that they could score those late goals every now and then and get those wins when it looks very improbable. I mean, look at the game Atletico Madrid played against Valencia. I can assure you right now that if Betis were in that position, I know they made comebacks before, but I just don't really think Betis could do that kind of thing. Like, I don't think Betis can make a comeback being 2-0 down at their stadium, And you look at the game that Atletico Madrid played against Getafe, Atletico Madrid just knows how to grab wins when it looks very bad. Whereas Betis, on the other end, I'm not so sure if they have the capabilities of doing so. I remember how the article was talking about how early on the season, Betis, they kind of stumbled early on, and, they had some games where they should have won. I mean, look at the games, for example, like right here. They should have won against the Mallorca. That was a bad one. Cadiz, that was bad. These two games, they should be winning, And those two games in particular could be really bad. And look at the game they played against Espanyol at home. They really should have won that. So these three games in particular could have very well cost them this season in the league. So, like I said, though, it's a very difficult thing. And like I said, I as a Barca fan, I would like for them to be in the Champions League. It'd be very, very amazing for them, and it'd be a great story indeed. But at the same time, I don't know if it's going to really happen. So we'll see what happens, man. So that's just my quick take on the Real Betis this season, guys. I want you guys to comment down below. What do you guys think they're going to get Champions League football or not? That'll be the big question. And I want you guys to do is that. So make sure you guys comment down below your thoughts. Like this video as well if you do like this kind of content. Subscribe if you're new around here. Check out my email in the description below. Twitch, Discord, email, and Twitch. And I'll see you guys later. Peace out.